So are there any specific people that you took inspiration from in Zoe's creation?
There was this guy called Jim that used to drive the minibus. He would say some of the most offensive things in this really broad Jarrah accent. And sometimes I would be sat going, yeah, I'm stealing that for Zoe.
How would you describe Zoe?
So Zoe is all of the thoughts that you have that you choose not to say because of social boundaries. Zoe is all of those thoughts personified. When I first started out, I was dressing the best I could. So I was doing my hair, I was doing my makeup, I was putting on my best clothes. And by doing that, I felt really vulnerable. I felt really like this is the best version of me that I could give you. If I had any rejection from the audience, I took really personally, and that was quite difficult. So Zoe is the opposite of that. She's the worst version that I could present to myself, and then if people don't like it, it's not actually me. So it's a little bit of protection there.
Would you say it's more comfortable than in the character, or?
I think that it's more comfortable in the character because before I go on as Zoe, I kind of think that's Zoe's problem.
Right.
If that makes sense. If I'm going on as myself, then I have to prepare for what I'm going to say. If I'm going on as Zoe, it's a bit of a mask. So if I put on that, as soon as I put on that fleece and those glasses, then I start to think differently. I hold myself differently. It's almost like a separation mentally.
So you're talking in the show at the moment about your split from religion. What was it that prompted you to leave your religion?
So I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, or one of Jehovah's Witnesses. When I was about 27 years old, I was disfellowshipped from the organisation, which means you're cast aside, and that act implies that your family and community can no longer associate with you. So it was complete cut off. Have you ever seen Romeo and Juliet or read the play? You know, when he gets banished from Fair Verona, that was me from Fair Jarrah. Getting disfellowship meant that I wasn't allowed to spend any time with Jehovah's Witnesses. And according to their rules, I wasn't allowed to spend time with anyone who weren't Jehovah's Witnesses. So it resulted in isolation, essentially. And my family started to feel further away, and I began grieving for them. It was like they had died, but they were all still alive. It all culminated into a big sort of bout of mental illness, and it's like post-traumatic stress.
Did you feel any resentment towards the organisation when you were disfellowshipped?
Resentment downplays it massively. It was this furious, raw anger that consumed my very being. Have you ever seen Matilda? You know, when she just concentrated anger so hard that things exploded. I tried a couple of times, sat at the back of the Kingdom Hall, to explode elders when they're on the stage. I didn't, but I spent so much energy I ended up falling asleep in my chair.
Do you think you used comedy as an escape from everything that was going on in your life at the time?
I definitely used comedy as an escape. One of the biggest things with being disfellowshipped was you just felt less than human, you felt invisible, you felt like you didn't count. And then coming on stage and everyone looking at you and everyone seeing you and interacting with everyone in the room, it was a completely different experience from that mindset of being the repentant one. And I wrote the stand-up show called Cult Following, and it was just an outpour of all of the things that had happened to me. And each time I did it, I just cried on stage. You hear the saying that most clowns have a sadness, and that was 100% true of me. I would make a room laugh, but then I would go home and I would cry because of what was the darkness that I was really living through.
So you recently got married. It looks like you're a lot happier. So I just want to ask, how are things now?
So I'm feeling good. I think that I still have grief within me. I still miss my family. I still have these old messages that are within me. But ultimately I am happy. I found love again where I didn't feel like I deserved love because of the treatment that I had undergone. I found family with that love. I no longer need the organisation of Jehovah's Witnesses. I didn't need them for a long time, and I no longer am defined by them.